Welcome to Bizworld. I'm Farah, Nabilah, Wazer. There is a need to establish a new trade agenda that prioritizes fair wages for workers and the sustainability of strong middle class across diverse economies. Deputy Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Liu Chintong said this is important in steering nations away from a race to the bottom and instead advocating for a collective push to the top.
And we also need to ensure that trade will help create better society, and trade will also help government to keep taxes. We're not talking about global minimum tax. It's important to ensure that government is not deprived of a tax space from multinationals.
Liu, who was met at the APEC Advisory Council meeting earlier, highlighted the situation of geopolitical tensions and conflicts today. He emphasized that the concept of APEC served as a reminder of an alternative vision for a peaceful, prosperous and collaborative Asia-Pacific. Despite the current climate of division, he stressed that fostering economic cooperation among nations remains a noble and worthwhile endeavor. Sarawak is expected to cooperate with the European Union (EU) in the energy production sector to reduce the effects of climate change. Its Premier Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said the cooperation will involve technological development, especially in hydrogen production. Tan Sri Abang Johari also believed that the cost for hydrogen production will become cheaper within the next 5 to 10 years. This is in line with technology advancements that will reduce the dependence on fossil energy, which is constantly increasing in cost. He added Sarawak is taking the issue of global warming seriously, saying that the state wants to help reduce carbon emissions and the impact of climate change, which resulted in the highest temperature reading last year. Bursa Malaysia ended lower today due to the selling pressures in selected counters. At 5 p.m, the FBM KLCI decreased by 0.95 points to close at 1,528.38 points. However, gainers outpaced losers with 557 counters closing higher and 370 counters down, while 468 counters traded unchanged. According to Bank Muamalat, Telecommunication and Plantation, as well as financial institution counters were leading the decline in the local market. Singapore's economy expanded 1.1% in 2023, moderating from the 3.8% expansion in 2022. Its manufacturing sector shrank 4.3%, which is a reversal from the 2.7% growth in 2022. All clusters within the sector recorded output declines, except for transport engineering. The construction sector grew 5.2%, while the services producing industries expanded 2.3% throughout 2023. Thus, the ministry maintained the growth forecast this year at 1 to 3%. The growth in advanced economies is expected to moderate in the first half of the year due to continuous tight financial conditions, while the global electronics demand is expected to support growth in Southeast Asian economies. Meanwhile, Japan's economy slipped into a recession as it unexpectedly shrank for 2 straight quarters on weak domestic demand. This is expected to raise uncertainties about the central bank's plans to exit its ultra-easy policy sometime this year. The surprisingly weak performance saw Japan lose its title as the world's third largest economy, now been replaced by Germany. Its GDP fell an annualized 0.4% in the October to December period after a 3.3% slump in the previous quarter. The 2 consecutive quarters of contraction are typically considered the definition of recession. Meanwhile, weak data may cast some doubt on the Bank of Japan's forecast that rising wages will underpin consumption and justify phasing out its massive monetary stimulus. And that's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Farah, Nabilah, Wazer. Keep tuning in to TV3.